So good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here. The origins of Vilnius University Library, which celebrates its 455th anniversary this year, are directly linked to the founding of Jesuit College in Vilnius in 1570 and later to the activity of Vilnius University from 1579. The library in Vilnius fully met the standards of Jesuit libraries. Its core collections consisted of books necessary for preparing lectures, studying, and strengthening the faith. When discussing Jesuit printing and visual culture in early modern period, Jesuits used images in their works to enhance the persuasive effect on their books. To achieve this goal, they successfully collaborated with the best European printers, engravers, and other specialists. In turn, such books rich in decorative engravings and etchings were widely disseminated across all the Jesuit libraries. The aim of this presentation is to explore the Jesuits' art of persuasion in print. We will review not only the key early modern works preserved in Vilnius University Library, which set the tone for later publishing and formed the relation between image and text, but also we will consider persuasion beyond the purely religious context, and we will see that illustrations are not only works of art, but also the tools. We should begin with what researchers consider one of the most important visual devotion books of the 17th century within the context of the Counter-Reformation. It's Paradisus Sponsi et Sponse, published in 1607 by Jesuit Jan David. Its illustrations form an emblematic cycle of 100 spiritual exercises, helping the worshipper to imagine his heart as a garden. And the series is dedicated to meditate on Christ's passion and devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary. However, the book's illustrations are not only decorative. They are an integral part of the text and reveal the publication's main message, a synthesis of image and text. Let's take a look at an example. Engraving number 47, the Deposition. The scene depicts Christ's body being taken down from the cross after the crucifixion. The foreground is full of symbols, the fallen crown of thorns, the Christ's wounds, the deeply grieving Virgin Mary. The background is also full of action. But the scene is meant not only to depict a historical event, but also to evoke contemplative sorrow and emotional engagement with the experience of the Passion. Structurally, the images in this book are presented in a consistent, standardized form. The number and the title of illustration at the top, the short poetic verses in Latin, Dutch, and French at the bottom. Also, the image is accompanied by explanatory text in which specific segments are marked with lettered references, and the symbols depicted in the image are also labeled with the same letters mentioned in the text below, and at the end there is a prayer or meditative text. So the reader is invited to contemplate the Passion of Christ through sight, via image, through mind, via text, and through spirit, via prayer, across all 100 image-based spiritual exercises. Here you can see some more examples from that book with well-known plots. Jan David's 4 emblem books, created between 1601 and 1610, set the direction, set the tone for other authors, so it is worth introducing his last book and its intriguing concept. It's the book called Duodecim Specula, 12 Mirrors, published in 1610, This book explores a single motive, the mirror, whose shape and purpose change. The main theme of this book is how the soul can see God through different mirrors. And the book consists of 12 mirror emblems. Let's take a look at the engraving number 6. It's a mirror to one's own worthlessness. This mirror invites the viewer to reflect on his sinfulness, humility, self-humiliation, and moral poverty. It urges the viewers to see not what they wish to see, but what they truly are. So we can see in the center of the engraving a skull, it's us, people, is reflected in a mirror surrounded by the two grim reapers, the death. The one on the left points at us, and the one on the right is preparing to strike. So the image series in this book is also presented in a standardized format, a number and title of the illustration at the top, a brief motto in Latin at the bottom, and the image is also accompanied by explanatory text below. A few more mirrors. The mirror number 2 is false mirror. There is a fox, actually. And mirror number 3 is a burning mirror. During the Baroque period, the emblem became especially popular. This era is often regarded the age of emblematic thinking. The first Jesuit publication explicitly to use the term emblematic image, imago emblemata, to characterize its illustrations was Sacrum Oratorium by Pedro de Vivero, published in 1634. This book follows the tradition established by the aforementioned Jan David. It functions as a therapeutic guide, teaching the art of living well and the art of a good death, conveyed and illustrated through devotional emblematic images. The text and images trace the history of salvation. The book contains a cycle of 57 emblems, and let's take a look at one of them. It's emblem number 17, the New David, penance. Illustration rich in symbolism invites the viewer to identify with the King David, who is repenting of his serious sins. In turn, all the viewers should also feel how their souls are tossed about in the ocean of sins too. Each emblem of the book has a motto at the top, an epigram at the bottom, and the explanatory text is provided below. The illustrations are not only decorative, they are an integral part of a narrative and had to influence. Vivero endorses a great variety of iconic languages, from narrative to emblematic, from descriptive to allegorical, and also combines these visual elements. Actually, such books were popular at that time. Now I want to present a bestseller. It's Pia Desideria by Jesuit Hermann Hugo, first published in 1624. In the photo you can see a late 18th century edition preserved in Vilnius University Library. And the book received rapid appreciation. By the mid-17th century, no fewer than 40 editions were published, along with numerous translations into many European languages. Also, this book spread widely among Protestant readers as well. What is more, this publication influenced other emblem books and religious literature, especially for personal meditation. The book consists of 46 engravings representing the genre of love emblems, popular in the Baroque era. Each engraving, whose main theme is love, is accompanied by a biblical quotation at the bottom of the illustration, a long commentary and a prose commentary of citations of church fathers and theologians is added too. Some more examples. Very nice and cute. What is particularly interesting is that Jesuits also had tools related not only to religious images and meditations. Jesuit lead brother Andrea Pozzo was one of the most famous and influential late Baroque painters and architects. He is well known for his wall and ceiling frescoes, altar designs, facades, etc. His works and theoretical treatises greatly influenced late Baroque ceiling painting and Baroque art in other countries. His most famous masterpiece is the illusionary ceiling in Sant'Ignazio Church in Rome. Pozzo composed a two-volume work, Perspectivae Pictorum et Architectorum. Volume 1 was published in 1693 and Volume 2 was published in 1698 with 118 engravings and explanations. This is one of the first manuals on perspective translated into many languages. In the slide you can see the Andrea Pozzo portrait. So, the book analyzes how architectural forms and volumes can be represented using mathematically accurate drawings and vice versa. Pozzo presents methods for drawing architectural elements in perspective, moving from more basic to more complex elements. From this to this, and even from this to Colosseum. This book also contains knowledge about fresco painting techniques too. Throughout the treatise, Andrea Pozzo emphasizes the liturgical purpose of these illusory architectural creations. He notes that his perspectival images should evoke intense pleasure and delight in illusion. Pozzo treatise gave artists the tools to create the illusion of the heavens opening above, sense ascending or divine lights flooding space to the instrument to make the invisible visible, to see through senses, and to awake the imagination and devotion of the faithful. For example, these images expanded the visible through imaginary space, while exactly directing the attention of the displayed host, which was meant to be understood as a truly present, not just virtually present. Pozzo works, like the aforementioned Jesuit publications, was also created as closely connected to the text, also based on the principle of word and image synthesis. Pozzo himself expressed this idea like this: if something in the explanation is unclear, examine the image more closely, and if it seems something is missing in the images, supplement them by reading the explanation. And finally, let's look at today's last type of tools. It's related to overseas missions and martyrdom. Jesuit books featuring stories of martyrs, often accompanied by dramatic illustrations, were popular in Europe, especially from the late 16th to the 18th century. These books served multiple religious, political, cultural purposes and captured the imagination of European readers of that time. One of the best examples are Fasciculus e Japonicis Floribus by Jesuit missionary Francisco Antonio Cardim, published in 1646. This book was intended for Europeans to spread stories of martyrs in Japan, especially for Jesuit and Catholic audiences. It includes a detailed description of the martyrs, biographical narratives, and illustrations to affect the faithful. So they could honor the martyrs and be inspired by them as spiritual and moral examples. It's also part of the Jesuit martyrology to help to preserve the memory of suffering and persecution. As I mentioned, this work is richly illustrated. 87 engravings depict martyrs, Asian converts to Catholicism, and also Europeans, giving visual expression to their history and suffering. This had to enhance emotional and visual impact. Here we can see some examples. Japanese Paulus Michi was crucified and pierced with lances, and Gundisalvus Fusai, also Japanese, was burnt alive. Portuguese priest Johannes Machado was beheaded, while Emmanuel Borges was tortured especially brutally. He was suspended by his feet and lowered into a pit up to his waist, and usually in this position a person would hang extremely uncomfortably and painfully, often for a long time, even until his death. So engravings of the moment of death like this are used to evoke empathy or even horror in the viewer, but the ultimate goal is to inspire respect, preserve memory, and encourage reflection. Illustrations in early modern period books played an important and versatile role. They were not only decorative, but also educational, symbolic, shocking, and persuasive. Therefore, illustrated books were not only read, but also seen, felt, and experienced at the same time, as you can see in the scheme. The belief that words and images share a common interpretive power is a common thread linking early modern Jesuit book publishing. It becomes clear that images were used in various types of publications closely connected with the leading activities of the Jesuit order. I mean, pastoral care, teaching, and missionary work, making visual culture part of Jesuit identity. And undoubtedly, yes, Jesuit knew how to persuade. So thank you for your attention.